breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, it is Monday, June 22nd, 2026. You're listening to The Daily Ledger Show, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you tonight. We got some good stories we're going to get into. We're going to talk about tech workers maxed out their AI use by the New York Times, and now they're trying to minimize it. Amazon retaliated against workers who supported regulating data centers, complaint says. Google investing in Backrooms Studio A24. And we're going to talk about my review of the Backrooms, which I watched on Saturday night. SpaceX handed lowest possible ESG rating by MSCI. Nice. Lucid Motors' new CEO cuts 18% of staff to simplify the company. Quote, Spider-Man Brand New Day box office tracking explodes with $40 million in pre-sales and $250 million opening weekend. Nice. I got some tickets for that. The numbers behind box office success are simpler than Hollywood thinks from that park place. So we're going to talk about all of that and more. Before we get into it, make sure to go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share the TikToks and the Reels and the Shorts and everything. The short form content is how I get most of my views. So appreciate the long form content watchers and viewers and listeners. I also need you to send out the shorts as well. Just like them and everything. Yeah. So before we get it, yeah. So why don't we just dive right in? Right in, man. We're going to dive right in. Wow. That's cool. I can see a breakdown, I guess, of like who's viewing live. So one person's watching from Facebook, two people watching from X. See, I'm telling you, I get like hundreds, like low hundreds of views on like the Reels and the TikToks. And then I get like a handful of viewers who watch the live show. So it's like, that's why I really like clip farming. The whole show, the secret's out. Like the whole show is just so I can clip farm because I love clip farming. But anyways, all right, let's just get into it here. There we go. Okay. Tech workers maxed out their AI use. Now they're trying to minimize it. AI is expensive to use, many companies discovered. Now has led to an era of saving costs. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's kind of the trend. Apparently, since like the beginning of June, maybe a little bit of like May, the wind has turned, the tide has turned, and now it's like AI is kind of looked at like, oh, like how much are you spending on that? Like even me, like personally, I'm kind of like wary of my AI usage, like in terms of like how many tokens I use. Like I make sure not to put like long pieces of like logs in there or anything that'll just eat up all of the allocated amount of tokens that I have for my chat, for my conversation thread. So yeah, so apparently everyone else is feeling that too. And I think just like overall, Anthropic kind of like raised their costs per token. Like I think June 2nd. So, and then it talks about by Eli Tan reporting from San Francisco, New York Times. Earlier this year, the message from tech companies to employees was clear: use as much AI in your work as possible. Token maxing. And then now Anthropic and OpenAI gave their bills. There's an exponential increase in costs. Oh wow, and now they started token minting, short for token minimizing. That's funny. The biggest problem is that all of this is changing so fast. People and companies don't know what to do. CEO of Neurometric, a startup that helps companies better use AI. The token minting manifesto. Nice. CEOs who did not know how to measure AI savviness of their AI employees thought, well, who's using the most tokens? Ended up promoting volume over efficiency. OpenAI and Anthropic offer submit. Okay, so it kind of talks about stuff we already know. If you're not actually able to draw a direct line of how many useful features and functionality you're shipping, the trade becomes harder to justify, Uber's COO said. Well, that's the thing. I think that's a skill issue on you, right? Like if you don't know, if you don't have ways to track like what your output is, well then you're just a fucking loser and you need to be fired immediately. So I'm calling for Andrew McDonald, the Uber's COO, to be fired today. Okay. Yeah, it's what you deserve, Andrew McDonald. Yeah. So yeah, so that's kind of what's going on here. New York Times, Amazon retaliated against workers who supported regulating data in data centers. Complaint said the employees encouraged limits on the complexes in a series of hearings in the tech giants' hometown, Seattle. Wow. Yeah. Amazon illegally retaliated against 3 of its employees for testifying that Seattle should regulate data centers. Nice. Get back in line. Yeah. Amazon's doing the Lord's work here. We see. In one case, up to potential termination. Yes. Good. Amazon. Yes. 5 Amazon tech workers affiliated with Amazon employees for testified at several. Okay, so it just kind of keeps saying the same thing over and over. The Wall Street Journal exclusive. Google investing in Backrooms Studio A24. Search giant is putting in about $75 million into the film company as part of an AI research partnership. So that's cool. Yeah, and it kind of talks about how Disney and OpenAI had a kind of a short-lasting deal regarding Sora, and then OpenAI ripped up the deal and then killed Sora because it wasn't getting enough usage and it was too expensive. So yeah, you do. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. If that's the case, then yeah. Yeah. So let me just quickly give you my thoughts on the Backrooms. I thought it was really good. I watched it on Saturday night. I think, yeah. Honestly, everyone's like, "Oh my god, Obsession," whatever. Like, I kind of liked how uncanny Backrooms was. I liked Backrooms more. Obsession was just too mainstream for me. It's like, oh my god, like, yeah, I think Obsession's cool. Like, oh, it's like, incel. Like the incel's the villain, and he starts out as the protagonist. So that's kind of like an interesting take. And then Backrooms was kind of. I mean, I just happen to really like horror, and most of the horror was like Portal-esque. Like if you've ever played Portal from Valve's Steam, which is a game that I played when I was a kid. So apparently that Kane Parsons, the director, he's like 20. He took a lot of the inspiration for this movie from Portal, from a few other movies, a few other games. And so, for instance, for me, the coolest part of the whole Backrooms movie was like the wall mural. Let me see if I can find it real quick. A Backrooms wall mural. And then it's just like this giant like figure that you don't even know what it looks like. Movie. And it's like holding up something. Yeah, I mean, doesn't look like super creepy. Like this wasn't even unfortunately in the movie, but this would have been so cool. I think this is like in the YouTube documentary thing. Yeah, it seems that I can't find the exact mural that I wanted for whatever reason. It's not on there. It's not the one with the eyes here. But yeah, I guess like, to get back to the point, I really liked how like uncanny that wall mural was, and I was like, wow. I was like, this is like, it's not scary, but it's like, wow, like I don't know what the threat is, and that's what's really cool. Like I didn't feel that when watching Obsession. I just felt cringe. I was like, oh, I was like, you fucking idiot, Bear. Like you're such a little pussy. Like, Yeah, so it invoked the two films invoked different feelings. The Financial Times, SpaceX handed lowest possible ESG rating by MSCI. Yeah, this was funny. And then Elon was like, "Oh, unfortunately, you can't make electric rockets." I was like, "Oh yeah." Triple C score puts Elon Musk's company on par with Russia after 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Nice. Um, yeah. Lucid Motors' new CEO cuts 18% of staff to quote simplify the company. Ayo. Laying off about 1,500 employees just 4 months after the EV maker cut 12% of its staff. The company said on Monday that it had also eliminated the second shift of EV production at its factory in Casa Grande, Arizona. Nice. The cuts are part of a bid by Lucid's new CEO, Silvio Napoli, to simplify the company, sharpen execution, and position Lucid to become more competitive over time. Honestly, just fuck Lucid. Just give up. If you're a loser, just kill yourself. Honestly, I mean, don't actually, but like seriously though, you know what I mean? Like Lucid is clearly the loser when it comes to its competitiveness with like other players like BYD and Tesla. So I think it should just shut down immediately and dissolve. Geeks and Gamers, Spider-Man Brand New Day box office tracking explodes with $40 million in pre-sales and $250 million opening weekend. Yeah, I'm really excited to see this. I guess he turns into like Man Spider. That's kind of the thing. He mutates some more. He moves away from tech. It's funny because they move away from like tech-based web shooters because it's like discriminating against like non-intellectuals. I think that's kind of the line of logic, and it's like, oh no, but anyone can be Spider-Man. That's why we're making Tom Holland Spider-Man have unique have organic web shooters. So it's like, oh, it's okay, dumb people. Like, just, okay, you can also be Spider-Man. Okay, oh. Wow. Mark Ruffalo's Savage Hulk is going to be back in here. I'm so glad they're not bringing back the pussified version of Hulk, Professor Hulk, back. I mean, that was just fucking ridiculous. Like honestly, that's why like everyone hates Marvel and Disney. It's just like, oh my god, like they just get like large investments when they have a higher ESG score. And then their box office revenue all like crashes and burns though, because turns out people don't like watching cucked men. And so finally, like, this is what we want, man. Seriously. Savage Hulk. I mean, look how intimidating he looks. Like he's about to like literally kill Tom Holland. You know what I mean? Like not actually, but like in this photo, it kind of he looks extremely intimidating. You know what I mean? Like we want intimidating Hulk. We want Savage Hulk, man. That Park Place. The numbers behind box office success are simpler than Hollywood thinks. So, just so you know, Toy Story 5 is apparently doing a really good job at the box office, earning $312 million. This production budget was only $250 million. So, it's doing quite well. It's top of the box office right now. And turns out, well, who was it? CC Campione from That Park Place basically laid out how to make a successful film based on the recent trends, right? Turns out focusing on small segments drops revenue, right? So you focused on like movies specifically for like ethnicities like Hispanic, only for white people, only for black people, only for like, whatever. Um yeah, and it's like you don't want to do that. And then it's like you want to know your audience at the same time, right? That's why Obsession did really well. They know Gen Z, right? What are the things they don't like? What are the things they like? What do they find creepy? What do they find like, horror-esque? Um Yeah, examples of success would include Toy Story 5 aiming and getting for Gen Z and young families driven by nostalgia and matinee pricing. Okay. Another obvious argument for knowing your customer is The Devil Wears Prada 2, which hit with an overwhelming female audience full of millennials and Gen X. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Andy Weir's film adaptation project Hail Mary. Yeah, I've been hearing tons of good things. This was back in April, May. Skewed to under 35 and male with 50%, 57% tech savvy men. hmm Yeah, and then Supergirl is just gonna completely flop. Yeah, I mean it's essentially just piggybacking off of the Marvels, which was like one of the worst movies that um worst performing movies that Disney Marvel put out in like ever, to be honest. Um yeah, like it opened with the lowest box office, made the least amount of revenue. And yeah, so doesn't really seem like things are gonna change, but slowly, I mean, hey, they brought back Savage Hulk, so maybe who knows? Cool. All right. Well, I think we're gonna end it right there. Um, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace.